Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.
HIKI NŌ, Hawaii's new wave of storytellers.
Aloha, and welcome to another Student Reflections episode of HIKI NŌ, in which you will see students from across the islands express their thoughts on life in the era of COVID-19. We will also feature some brand new HIKI NŌ stories, and a few from the archives. But first, here's my reflection. Hey, I'm Ethan Morse, a junior from Farrington High School, and I'm speaking to you from my humble home in Kealakehe. Now, thankfully, I'm actually doing quite well during this COVID-19 crisis. But I am missing acting with my classmates in t-shirt theater.
Who brought this Hollywood?
Due to COVID-19, we've had to cancel our recent spring rehearsals and production, which would have actually been the final spring show for our seniors. Sadly, they won't get to have that chance to have that final hoorah on stage, and it's kind of sad. Fortunately, though, we are still able to rehearse over the internet with a great app that we've been using to meet up frequently.
Oh wait, I have comedy camp.
Every meeting, we get our juices flowing by acting a bunch and just doing our thing. Even if it's not the same as it would be if we were all in one room. We are all hoping that soon this COVID-19 crisis will end and we can go right back to doing what we love together. Our first story comes from students at Waiʻanae High School and features a family-run business that has been a Big Island institution for nearly a century. The students started working on this story before the coronavirus pandemic and completed the editing during the shelter-at-home mandate.
Humorous is literally part of the fabric of our lives. They've been in business for over 90 years, and people have been coming in here purchasing fabric to create special garments that commemorate the special occasions of their lives, like baby christenings, graduation, proms, weddings.
Morse fabric store in Kainaliu town has been a fixture on the leeward side of Hawaiʻi Island for nearly a century, attracting customers from all over the island, the state, even the country. But it did not always sell fabric.
According to the Historical Society, 1926 is when my grandparents started it. But 1939, my parents took over.
Inspired by the success of his brother's lauhala shop in Holualoa, Kinshichi Kimura decided to open his own store in nearby Kainaliu.
My grandfather started the store here, and it was a general store, more or less. He went back to Japan late 1930s, and my mom and dad took over the store after that.
Irene Kimura was a self-taught seamstress, and her garments became popular with the customers. She eventually added fabric and sewing supplies to the store's inventory. The rest is history.
Well, when she sent us to school, she would sew aloha shirts and stuff like that. And even the aloha shirts, at the time she only charged $5. But I mean, just imagine how many shirts she had to make.
Throughout the years, the art of sewing has been passed down from generation to generation. Brian Kimura says his son learned to sew at an early age.
Well, actually, he started off making a patchwork quilt to learn how to use the machine. Then later on, when he was played on the tennis team, he volunteered to make palaka tennis shorts for the team.
Not only is Kimura's a place of business, it's also a place where family memories were made.
We used to live right in the back, and I would make forts with the fabric that we had stored in the living room and stuff like that, because the overflow. I remember one little cousin didn't want to leave, so he was playing with my daughter, and they hid in between the fabric because they're hiding that they didn't want to go back.
The store was recently recognized as a heritage store by the Kona Historical Society. The Kimoras say no matter what happens, they're proud of the legacy they'll one day leave behind.
I don't know what's going to happen. My sister and I are getting older, and we don't know what we're going to be doing. So I don't know how much longer we'll be having the store open. Hopefully we can last like 6 more years till we hit our 100-year anniversary.
People have been shopping here for multiple generations. So if you've been a customer of Kimura's for many years, like myself, when you come in here, the store holds many, many special memories for you.
This is Paulus Britu from Waiʻanae High School for HIKI NŌ.
Hi, my name is Amee Neves from Waiʻanae High School, and I'm speaking to you from my home. As a high school senior, I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now. I'm sad that I'm missing out on these last high school moments that I'm just never going to get back. I'm also scared for our kupuna, whose lives are most at risk during this tough time. My auntie and uncle were supposed to come down from the Philippines for my graduation this month, and are now stuck in Cebu where there's very limited healthcare supplies. I think what we all need to remember in this tough time is to stay positive, because this will end one day. Remember to spread aloha and not corona. Thank you.
Our next story comes from the HIKI NŌ archives and was created by students at Waiʻanae High School on Hawaiʻi Island. While it was created well before COVID-19, it features a creative process that is perfect for sheltering at home.
I'm a very quiet person. I just don't like to talk. But I feel like I just completely change when I go in costume.
Some people only dress up for Halloween, but for cosplayers, this type of transformation is simply a part of who they are.
I'm suddenly able to go out and talk to people and, maybe act a bit in character or, take pictures with people or help people out with something. I don't know. It's really great that I'm just finally able to talk to the world.
Waiʻanae High School students Kai and Denali Davis have been cosplaying for a few years now. Cosplay or costume play is the act of dressing up as characters from books, movies, TV, video games, or even simple imagination. Dressing up may seem like a simple hobby, but there's a lot more to being a cosplayer.
Cosplay has helped us make friends in ways that we didn't really expect. It started off with me and 3 or 4 friends just like, hey, let's make a costume together. Let's coordinate our costumes, right, cool. And this should be fun. And once we did that, we ended up going outside and wearing our costumes in public, and we got a lot of weird looks, but we ended up making some friends, and cosplay has really helped us break out of our shell. So this is something I've been working on for the upcoming convention, and it's just made out of the old front of a TV, and I got these tubes from the transfer station, and I just spray painted them.
So there's the usual places of getting stuff, the store or
like Walmart or something.
Yeah, Walmart or Salvation Army, thrift stores. And then there's some more unusual places like the recycling center. I've used caulk, and I've used an old hiking backpack and totally cut that up just to hold a pair of wings. Yeah, I've used some weird stuff, like half a pound of feathers.
Aside from one annual convention, there aren't many opportunities to cosplay on the Big Island, but Kai and Denali are hoping to change that.
Anyone can cosplay. It's not bound by gender or sexual orientation or, your size. You could be 12 feet tall or, 7,000 pounds.
They encourage more people to embrace their inner superhero, one costume at a time. This is Poina Levi from Waiʻanae High School for HIKI NŌ.
Hi, I'm Marlon Utrera Jr. from Kealakehe Intermediate School, speaking to you from my home. It's pretty funny. During the past few weeks, I've reflected on how I want to change myself for the better. It's weird. All this time has given me the opportunity to try creative things. I've been documenting them by my daily videos on Instagram, called Life in a Quarantine Bubble. The videos show things that I've been doing during quarantine since it's been pretty boring, such as spending more time with my family in the garden, and even cooking more, which is kind of surprising. I've been cooking stuff from New York steaks to making refreshing bubble tea. And I've also included 2 PSAs on my Instagram too. It's fun being able to share with my friends and see their reactions, even though we are apart. The next story takes us to the island of Kauai, where students from Kapa'a High School introduce us to a father and son who share a passion for making one of the world's most desired treats.
What came first, the chocolate bar or the chocolate tree? Well, the chocolate tree came first. So first you plant the trees, you wait a few years, harvest, and then you process chocolate.
At Garden Island Chocolate in Kilauea on Kauai's North Shore, Mr. Koa Kahili and his 16-year-old son Makanakai worked together to produce many people's favorite treat.
When I first started making chocolate, I was probably 5 or 6. The machines were just super cool, and I loved the taste of the raw fruit, and ever since I've just been intrigued by the whole thing.
I saw that chocolate, no one was making chocolate on Kauai, so it was kind of like a niche, finding a little niche and filling it. What I do here at Garden Island Chocolate as the owner and manager and tour guide, pretty much do everything. I like being outside, I like farming, I like gardening, I like experimenting in the kitchen, I like cooking.
Producing chocolate is complicated and involves many steps, starting with harvesting ripe cacao.
All chocolate starts as a fruit, and then the fruit is opened, the beans are fermented, roasted, and ground, and finally poured into molds to create the bar shape we all know and love. Making chocolate is a lengthy process, and it's not always easy, but it's very rewarding. Working in a chocolate business has taught me a lot about economics and a lot about making money.
The plans is always to expand the business and grow the business, you know? Just like a tree, the business grows and you want to have sustainable growth.
As a two-man operation, Garden Island Chocolate relies on both father and son working together to keep it running smoothly. Problem solving is part of the job.
Machines break, and sometimes you don't always have an instruction manual to fix them, so you've got to get your hands dirty, and spills happen. You got to clean up this sugary mess that can always be a bit of a hassle. I always do what I can to help out, whether that be in the garden pulling weeds or helping paint the front of the building.
The Kahilis are committed to offering the purest form of chocolate without the use of chemical fertilizers or pesticides.
You're helping to create a sustainable business, not in terms of making money, but in terms of growing healthy organic food for the people of Kauai. It's very rewarding to see the plants grow and the business grow, and as I said, they grow slowly.
They plan to slowly increase production while still providing the highest quality chocolate possible.
I just hope that the business goes on to continue providing chocolate to everybody on Kauai.
This is Preston Hayden from Kapa'a High School for HIKI NŌ.
Hi, this is Suzanne Tran, a senior at Moanalua High School, speaking to you from my home. COVID-19 has definitely changed a lot of things lately, and as a senior, I especially know how upsetting some of these changes were. But I do think that there were good things that came out of it. I like that my parents are finally getting a break from work. They work really hard and they have to do a lot because they own a food truck. But now they're at home and they get this break, and we spend a lot of time together as a family. I like that we eat dinner together, and we even had a game night. I don't think we've ever had a game night before this. It is tough for them to not be at work or to not work, but I think this family time is just so worth it because it's rare for us. Our next story from the HIKI NŌ archives was created by students at Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School on Kauai and features a young woman who turned her engineering skills into a loving act of kindness.
Haley and her dog Harley have been best friends since Haley was a toddler. Her father wanted her to grow up with not just a pet, but a true companion.
I would explain our relationship as special. He's like around the same age and I'm the one who takes care of him. He's really happy-go-lucky and he gets me.
We took her to the Humane Society, and it's one that she really gravitated towards and we felt was a good, friendly dog for her.
Not long after they got him, Haley and her family found out that Harley was diagnosed with canine degenerative myelopathy disease.
Degenerative myelopathy is a disease of the spinal cord of dogs. It's thought to be an inherited problem that occurs in certain breeds of dogs.
Well, when I found out, I was really little, so I didn't really know what it did and how it affected him. But when I got older, I got to researching and I felt bad that it means that he's not going to be able to walk around as much.
Seeing Harley struggle, Haley decided to do something to help her friend.
There you go. There you go. First, I had to research about the disease and how it could help. I got the idea to look for an app that shows me like how much of what I would need and a way I can look at it from a whole bunch of different angles. So I found this app called 123D Design, and it's for building and engineering.
Haley went through trial and error to build this wheelchair, but the finished product worked and affected Harley in many ways.
I built the wheelchair for Harley because I found out that it's a way to better the life of a dog who has this kind of disease. After I built the wheelchair, I saw he got a lot happier, and I think he knows that it's helping him. And so it just makes me feel happy that he's able to run and walk. You wanna get up? You wanna get up?
What happened with the wheelchair is it helped them spend more time together. I think that was what really made her want to do it for the dog, because she would notice that he would get so tired that he would be stuck away and wouldn't be able to even get back to somewhere that he wanted to go.
When I saw how excited he was and how happy he looked while he was walking and running around, I just felt this overwhelming feeling of happiness.
Harley is a big part of the Gokon family and means a lot to Haley as a best friend. Their relationship proves dogs truly are a man's best friend. This is Casey Nakashima from Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Hello, my name is Jack Wilcox from Āliamanu Middle School, speaking to you from my home. These times were definitely unexpected, but I've been doing my best to cope with it. I've been using my 3D printer to make face masks for my family. Each mask takes around 6 hours to print, so I've only been able to make a few on the side. Until then, I'm designing more efficient models so I can make more at a faster rate. Additionally, I've been printing face shield frames for Hawaii Pacific Health. In about 2 weeks, I've made around 20 sets and I've already sent them off to their facilities. It's been good to help out others in the community. When I got the printer, I never thought it'd be used for something as impactful for this. It was designed for hobbyists and printing parts. Still, however, it has proven useful in times like these. Next, from the HIKI NŌ archives, a how-to video that was produced before COVID-19 but offers a perfect shelter-at-home activity.
Ki Kopala is the art of stamping using the stem of the ki or tea leaf. The stamping technique has been used to symbolically share the kauna or hidden meaning of a story. To share this art with you, we will use materials such as acrylic paint, scissors, and a brown paper bag. Before you start, you want to have an idea of the design you would like to create. First, pick some leaves from the tea leaf plant. Try to pick a variety of sizes according to the stem of the tea leaf. With a pair of scissors, cut the stem of the key leaf so it has a firm edge. Next, crumple up a piece of brown paper bag until it is soft in texture. Then uncrumple the square and flatten it. Using the scissors, cut the size of the paper you want, depending on what you are making. When you are done preparing your canvas, squirt a little paint on the scratched piece of paper for you to work on. Next, apply the paint to the edge of the stem of the tea leaf and press firmly on the paper bag. If your edge becomes too messy, just cut the undesired part off. Be creative and use your imagination to design. You can use this technique to stamp on any type of material. This is Anela Lono Kaina from Hana School for HIKI NŌ.
Aloha! My name is Villaroz from Roosevelt High School, speaking to you from home. Ever since the outbreak of COVID-19, my life plus the people around me has been affected. One night, while my mom and I were talking about COVID-19 and affecting my graduation, she said something to me that dawned on me. She told me that I was born into this world with chaos because I was born a few weeks before 9/11, and now I'm graduating with this world pandemic. She also mentioned to me that throughout these 18 years of my life, I'm always taking a positive approach. I'm going to look towards my future with a positive approach because I know one day that COVID-19 will be over and we can live our lives normally. Our final story is by a student from H.P. Bowen High School on Maui. Although it was created before COVID-19, its lessons definitely apply to life in the new normal.
Sometimes life gets repetitive. Like how the sun always rises in the morning, and the moon always rises in the night. As of now, I'm traveling through life in a straight line, down a path that never ends. Eventually, I know that it must end, but right now, in this moment, I am stuck in the boring repetition of life. As life went on, the speed at which I'm moving has gradually increased. From slowly crawling into my mother's arms to moving towards feelings unknown to me, such as responsibility and freedom. Still, this journey is a tiring one, always moving, rarely stopping. There are times where I think to myself, I can't go on. That is why I build relationships. To have comfort on this tiring trip, to have a reason to continue to go on through the boring repetition of life. When you spend time with the people you truly care about, the boredom of repetition comes to an end, if only for a moment. What I enjoy in life are the relationships and activities that I've come to appreciate over time. Music has allowed me to create cool things, improvising and learning as I go, enjoying every moment of it. Hanging out with my friends, encouraging adventure and living in the moment. My family, guiding me to become the best person I can be, supporting me in all things that I do. All of these make up the reason why I continue to put up with the repetition of things. Because, although life may be boring and a bit repetitive at times, you can go out and make moments worth living.
We hope you've enjoyed these student reflections on life in the time of COVID-19 just as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you. Be sure to tune in next week for more student reflections and more proof that Hawaii's new wave of storytellers, HIKI NŌ, can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.